beautiful. Now, how did you manage to shoot that scene? Because obviously, you know, the two of you there, a lion.
Yes.
Obviously, how many takes can you get to do something
One.
like that? One.
Yes. Well, because if I can tell you a little bit of story about
Yes,
that.
please do.
When we went to do that scene at the coast, we had to take the other lands that weren't going to appear because our safety was actually being in contact with the animals every day. We never had a day without seeing them.
Okay.
And so we took 2 or 3 other lands with us. And the girl, the one who was chosen to do this scene, hated the water. So she'd dip her foot in and go like this. And we started to despair when someone said, I think it was George Adamson, who said, let's try Mara. She was a slightly older lioness, and you could not keep her out of the sea. It was, and she was the one you saw in the clip.
Beautiful,
swim.
beautiful
Oh,
animal.
she was
How did you feel, though, inside when you started to handle lions, be close to them, take them into the water? Were you a bit nervous inside?
Well, we'd been with them for quite a long time before we did that sequence. In fact, the very first 2 lionesses that were chosen to play the part never did, because they were circus-trained lionesses, and they actually were quite dangerous because they only responded to order, to command.
Okay.
You could never be natural with them. So they, after a little bit of a possible incident one day, they were withdrawn from any contact, and then our producers started to look for lots of other lionesses and found from hither and thither all kinds. And this one you saw swimming was called Mara, and she'd come from the Nairobi Animal Orphanage. And Elsa and her brother, girl and her brother Boy, rather original, they'd been mascots of the Scots Guards Regiment in Nairobi, and they came to us.
Fantastic.
And so we had them from all
Do you know what I love about you, though? It's that deep passion. Ever since we saw Born Free, where did that passion really rise from? Was it because of that film?
Oh, you mean
Your
about
passion
animals?
about wildlife.
Well, we'd always been very fascinated by wildlife. We lived in the country. We wanted to not live in town, so we found a little cottage in the country where I still live now. And we've always been sort of non-town people. And when we were asked to do the film, we just said yes. We'd no idea anything about lions at all. And so the passion grew organically, and a lot of it, I think, was due to the fantastic, wise counselling and advice and example of George Adamson, because he was a true lion man who, from my point of view, is the only real lion man in the world, because he had this deep, profound understanding of animals' nature. And you know how to read the body language. We try and read each other's or our dogs and cats, but he knew about wild animals too.
When you did this